Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Woo, woo. Warm-up 84 is on the screen. Put away all electronic devices. You don't need them for this session. Today's going to go fairly fast, and it's packed with stuff. So stay with me, please. Go ahead and copy the warm-up, and we'll get started right away. I'm going to get right to it. So I'll give you a couple minutes so you can copy that. Go. Here we go. Number one. It says, write in slope-intercept form and graph. So I'm going to go through these fairly quick because we need to get to the lesson. Today's lesson, like I said, coming to you like this second semester concepts are coming like bam, really fast. So I need to leave y by itself here, so that means I need to subtract 12 from each side. I end up with negative 3y equals negative 6x minus 12. All right, from there I still need to leave the y by itself, so I divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. I end up with y equals 2x, and 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. That is slope-intercept form. Why slope-intercept form? Because it should look like this, y equals mx plus b. You guys remember that? All right, let's graph this. So, if I graph this, I start with a y-intercept, which is b. What is the y-intercept? Positive 4, which is right there. There's my point. From there, I'm going to use the slope to place points. What's my slope? 2. In fraction form, 2 over 1. That means 2 steps up, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 1 to the right. Plot your point. Do it again. 1, 2, 1 to the right. Plot your point, and graph your line. There you go. All right, so far so good. Let's go to number 2. Tell your neighbor the parent function for this one. What's the parent function? F of x equals what? X squared. So how does that look over here on our graph? Well, it's a parabola going through 0, 0. But now we have this. What's going to happen to our original one according to this? Tell your neighbor. Everyone, it goes what? Up 1 step. So that means we go up 1, so this entire function goes 1 step upward, and there you go. Okay? Can you get that door, please, Delilah, please? Thank you. Number 3A. Let me make some space. It says factor by grouping. I can't because it's not in what? Standard form. So x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10. Now let's group. Group and group. GCF for the first two is 5x. Oh, no, my bad. Just x. Sorry. X. And that leaves us with x plus 5. GCF for the second two is 2. And we're left with x plus 5. So my factors are x plus 5 and x plus 2. All right. Number 3B. Standard form, yes. GCF, no. So 6 times 1 is 6. 5 goes on here. So what two numbers multiply give me 6? When you add them, give us 5. 2 and 3, 20. Yeah. So from there we can write this like that. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to use the shortcut. So I'm going to use the leading coefficient to make fractions out of those. So what's this fraction in simplest form, everyone? 3 over 1, which means my factor is 3x plus 1. How about this one in simplest form? 2 over 1, which means 2x plus 1. Bless you. And have you got that? All right, so far so good, yes? All right, let's go to number 4. Divide using synthetic division, our favorite. Let's go. So, is this in standard form? Yes, set it equal to 0. When you solve, that gives us 2. Is this in standard form? Yes. So my coefficients are 12, negative 19, negative 12, 4. Bring down the 12. Let's get started. 2 times 12 is 24. Combined, that's 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Combined, that's negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Combined, that is 0. So if we started with a cubic, that means this is what? 12x squared plus 5x minus 2. Woo-wee. Let's go. Oh, man, we got this. And notice I've been giving you plenty of practice with the synthetic division, because we're about to crank it up a notch when we get there, and we need that skill. So make sure you get plenty of practice. You're like, more than that, Mr. Q? Oh, yeah, this is only like one itty-bitty step of where we're going. All right, next, 5, solve by substitution. What does that mean, Mr. Q? That we substitute one equation into the other. So which one's already solved for one variable? The bottom one. What is y? Y is what? X plus 3. Which means on the first equation, instead of writing y there, what do I write? X plus 3. So that means I'm going to bring this equation down, and I write x plus blank equals 5, and what goes in the blank? X plus 3. Combine like terms, so we end up with 2x plus 3 equals 5, and we solve. Minus 3 minus 3, 2x equals 2, divide by 2, x equals 1. X equals 1. Am I done? No. Now I need a y value. So which equation do we want to use, the top one or the bottom one? The bottom one, but does it really matter? No. So I'm going to use the bottom one just for the sake of whoever said the bottom one. So I'm going to y equals blank plus 3, but now instead of x, I'm going to substitute what? 1, so y equals 4. This is my solution. But what does that mean, Mr. Q? Well, it means that if I was to graph this equation and this equation, this is something related to both. Tell you never what that is. What is that? What is that, Mr. Q? That's where both graphs intersect. If we were to graph them, both graphs intersect at 1, 4. All right, copy the agenda, please. The agenda for today is warm-up 84. We're done with that. We're continuing on with parabolas. And tonight's home play is only 6 graphs. Only 6. Only. Last night were 8. So yeah, hopefully that was plenty of practice. You're like, oh, yeah, Mr. Q, we got this. All right, good. Yeah, 'cause tomorrow's Friday. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, warm-up 84, parabola, 6 graphs. All right. So once again, last night's home plate. Turn that in on Canvas, and it counts as a pop party. How about them apples? Ooh, let's go. Thank you, Mr. Q. You're welcome. Oh, I got you. I got you. And once you're done submitting that, take a picture of the screen. There's 6 problems for your home plate tonight. And then get a Cornell note. You're going to need 2 coordinate planes on one side, 3 in the back. I don't know if I still have graph paper. You can use graph paper if you don't want to make your own, but first come, first serve. I don't know how many are left. All right, set that up, and I'll wait for you guys. All right, here we go. Our objective for today, I can write and graph a quadratic equation of a parabola. We don't need a Ferrier model because we know what they are. Tell you never the definition. Please, parabolas are all right, good. They are equidistant points from the focus and the directrix. There it is. We already have that. All right. We came up with a standard form equation. From there, we derived it. Yes, we're experts at this. Yes. All right, good. From there, we came up with these 2 equations. We said vertical and horizontal. We did some practice where the vertex was at 0, 0. And the focus had a 0 in it. And we did a couple of those. And we said, okay, that was good when the vertex is 0, but what happens when the vertex is other than 0? We got 2 new equations, and we did some practice yesterday here in class, and you did that for home plate. So for the sake of getting you back, copy this one, please. Example 2, Michael Jordan Q. We're going to do this one together. It's going to go a little bit expedient, so stay with me, please, since you guys are experts at this. What am I talking about? You guys did it for home plate. Let's go. All right. Focus, negative 5, 6. Directrix, y equals negative 4. All right, here we go. So they want us to write an equation. So where's the first place we look at? The directrix. Whoa. What's going on with my... Okay, not bad. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to look at the directrix. Look at it. So by looking at it, what's the first equation that comes to mind? Tell your neighbor, what's the first equation that comes to mind? X squared equals 4py. That is correct. However, look up. So yesterday we said, well, we look at the focus, it no longer has a 0, which means we cannot use this equation. We need to rewrite it. So underneath that, the x goes in here with a squared outside, and that would guide us for the rest of the equation, yes? X minus what? H squared equals 4py minus k. There it is. All right. Oh, yeah, Mr. Q, I remember this from last night's home play. Okay, good. Good thing you didn't copy from anyone. All right. So with that said, we're going to leave that on the side. And now we're going to go to the graphing. We'll come back to that. So for graphing, we need three things. We need the focus. We need the vertex. We need the directrix point. And we need the point, the distance between the points. So what information did they give us? The focus, negative 5, 6. So let's plot that. Let's write that, negative 5, 6. What else do they give us? The directrix. The directrix is going through y equals negative 4. Y negative 4 is down here, straight line. However, we need a point to write in here, so I follow the focus straight to the directrix, and I place my point right there. And what is that coordinate? Negative 5, negative 4. Negative 5, negative 4. So now that we have 2 points, can you find the midpoint, or the equidistant point from those two? Tell your neighbor what it is. What's our equidistant point? Equidistant point. I heard negative 5. That is correct. And what? 1. That is correct. Negative 5, 1. Place it there, and that's our vertex. Negative 5, 1. And that's all we needed for the graphing, is that correct? And we said that it's always opening towards the focus, so here's our parabola. You're like, come on, Q. Give something like charged, yes? All right. However, what else do we need? The distance between the points. What is that distance? What is this distance? And this distance. It should be the same, is that correct? Everyone? 5 and 5, yes, so that's our P. So now with that information, we're going to finish writing our equation. We need our H, we need our K, and we need the value for P. So tell your neighbor what to substitute for H and K and P, please. H, K, and P. So H is what, everyone? Negative 5. What is K? 1. And what is P? 5. All right, bring everything else down. Parentheses, X minus parentheses squared equals 4. Parentheses to multiply times P, or 5. Parentheses Y minus 1. Simplify, so this is X plus 5 squared equals 20 Y minus 1. This is our standard form equation for a parabola. Okay? So this was home plate from 1 to 5. How far are you to right there? Okay? Yeah, we got it, right? Now check this out. One thing I did want to point out, look up, and this is something that we need, and I was thinking, well, they've got plenty of practice from class in the home plate. Hopefully they saw it. But those of you that did not, look up to the screen. There's something happening over here with all this. Hopefully you see it. Tell your neighbor what we saw. Yeah, so check this out. Look up, please. So here in our equation, which one has the square? The x. The x has the square. That means that here all the x's are the same value. Okay. Then that's for vertical parabolas. What if the parabola was like this? So remember, what values shall be the same? Yeah, whenever it's like this, then the values that are going to be the same are the y values. All right, just keep that in mind, because we're going to apply that in a little bit. All right, so far so good, yes? All right, so Mr. Q, we got this, yes? So we're done with these, yes? Standard form, good. But what if what I give you does not look like that, and it looks like this? Copy that, please. Example number 3. Example number 3 reads, write and graph the equation of the parabola in standard form. X squared minus 4x minus 4y plus 12 equals 0. Copy that. We're going to do this one together since you have all the tools. I already gave you plenty of muscle memory. You have all the skills. I just need to guide you through it, okay? So let's get started. Here goes together. Whenever they give us an equation like this and they want us to write and graph it, but it has to be in standard form, does this look like the previous one? Let me go back to the previous one. Does that one look like this bottom one? It does not at all. Therefore, in order to make it look like that, we need to start somewhere. Where do we start? Well, first, look at which variable has the square. Which one has the square, everyone? The x squared, is that correct? Which your noodle should say, okay, so if the x has the square, in standard form, it should look like what? X minus h squared. Is that correct? So to finish that, what would be the last part? 4p, what else? Y minus k. This one needs to look like that. Write it to the side, please. That one, we need to make it look like that. All right. So with that said, what do you notice about this one that we just wrote down? That the x is by itself on one side and everything else on the other. So look at this. To leave x by itself on one side, what shall we do? Tell your neighbor, please. What shall we do here to leave x by itself? What shall we do to leave the x by itself, everyone? Diego, what do we do? Rosas. Add 4y and what else? Subtract 12. That is correct. Add 4y to each side and subtract 12 from each side. So do that, please. These cancel. So we're left with, check this out, I'm going to trigger your noodle, watch. X squared minus 4x empty space equals 4y minus 12. Show your neighbor why I said empty space. See if they remember. Let's go, let's go. Complete the square. So tell me what to write, Fabian. Plus what? And we do that to both sides. That is correct. Negative 4 over 2 squared. So we used to rewrite it. X squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 4y minus 12 plus 4. Can I simplify the right side a little bit more? Yes. 4y minus 8 equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. So you guys are completing the square. Okay, well, let's continue completing the square. We completed the square. What would be the next step in completing the square, everyone? See if you remember. Yeah, factor. We do that to both sides. Factor. So square root of the first, square root of the last, sine of the middle, squared, equals. Is this in standard form? Yes. So how can we factor this? GCF, yeah, divide by 4. So we're left with 4, and then y minus 2. You're like, what? I know, right? Let's go, Fredo. All right, so does that one look like that? Yeah, write it underneath so that we can match everything. X minus h squared equals 4p, parentheses, y minus k. All right, so before we finish writing our equation completely at the end, let's graph this. So what do we need? Well, we're going to need the focus, Mr. Q. Write it over there on top. We need a vertex. We need a directrix. And we need the distance between the points. So, look up. By looking at our equation that we came up with and looking at the standard form of that one, we know by looking at it what our vertex is. Is that correct? Tell your neighbor what the vertex is, please. Yeah, write it in there. 2, 2. Okay. Next, which variable had the square? X. So think about it. What kind of parabola is it? Vertical or horizontal? Vertical. So which values are the same? The x. That is correct. So we write here 2 and here 2. All right. So far so good. Now let me give you a little formula over here on the side. Let me make some space. I want you to write right here k plus p, and here k minus p. Why do you say that, Mr. Q? Well, isn't this the vertex? It's right in the center, right? The focus is always distance up, and the directrix is always what? Distance down. Is that correct? All right. So with that said, we need to know what that distance is. So look up to the screen. You're going to miss it. We need to know what P is. Box this and make that into an equation. 4P equals to what? 4. And solve. Divide by 4, divide by 4, P equals 1. So with that information, here we go. What is K, everyone? K is 2, and P is 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3. How about here? 2 minus 1 is 1. And now we can graph our parabola. Here we go. The focus is 2, 3. Vertex 2, 2. Directrix 2, 1. And our parabola from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with it so far? Yeah, first try. Okay. Yeah, 5 fours, 5 fours. Okay. So here goes the process one more time just to make sure we got it. You're given an equation, and you look at the variable that has a square. Once you look at that, you start over here on the side, write the variable inside the parentheses with a square. Your noodle should do the rest to fill in the standard form, which is the rest. From there, you see, okay, the left side, I have the x by itself, so I need to get rid of everything else, so I got rid of everything else. Completed the square for the empty space, factored, and we end up with a standard form equation. We wrote that one underneath to match everything up, came up with a focus, vertex, directrix, and a point, distance between the points. We started with a vertex because that was h and k. From there, we looked at, it was a vertical parabola. That's why all the x's were the same. And then from there, we needed to find p. How do we do that? We matched up the whatever was in front of the parentheses here with 4p, set it into the equation, solve, and that's the distance between the points. K plus p gives us that. K minus p gives us that. All right, copy this one. Example 3Q. Example 3Q. Y squared plus 4x plus 8y plus 4 equal to 0. So let's see. What do we do first? Frida, what did you do first? You looked at the y, okay. And what else? Four x and 4. Oh, okay. But we need to write our standard form equation. So we looked at the y squared. So what did you write on the side? That is correct. Hands if you got up to right there. All right. And then Frida gave us the next step. She said we need to leave the y by itself. So therefore, subtract 4x. Subtract 8. No, not 8. We subtract 4. My bad. Subtract 4x, subtract 4 from each side. We're left with y squared plus 8y, empty space, equals negative 4x minus 4. All right, what do we do next? Tell your neighbor, and Frida's going to pass someone. Pass someone, Frida. Diego Romo, continue. 8 over 2 squared, bless you. To each side, 8 over 2 squared, that is correct. So that gives us y squared plus 8y plus 16 equals negative 4x minus 4 plus 16. I can simplify the right side a little bit more, yes. So this is negative 4x plus 12 equals to y squared plus 8y plus 16. Tell you what to do next. And Diego, pass someone. What? Once again, tell your neighbor what to do, please, before Jaden shares out loud again. Factor. All right, so what are the factors? Help them out, Christopher. Y plus 4. How about over here? Negative 4. X minus 3. That is correct. Let's go. All right, and then we write our general rule right before, beneath it, the standard form. Y minus k squared equals 4. Oh my goodness. Four p x minus h. All right. So we're going to write over here F for focus, V for vertex, D for directrix point, and P for the distance between the points. So, yeah. Negative what? Y minus K? Sorry. There you go. Y minus K. All right. So with that said, tell your neighbor the vertex if we know what H and K is. Look at what H and K is. And tell your neighbor the vertex. The vertex. And be careful as you say the vertex. All right. Vertex. Jaden, pass someone. JP. Close. Remember, vertex is always H and K. H and K. Three and negative 4. That is correct. Ooh-wee. All right, so far so good. And since we started with a y squared, That means this is a horizontal parabola. So tell your neighbor which values are going to be the same. Yeah, the y, -4 for the y for the focus, and -4 for the y on the director's point. Okay. So this changes a little bit the equation. Instead of being k plus p, now we're going to use the h. So here write h plus p, and down here we're going to write h minus p. All right. So with that said, we need to find the distance between the points. So box this. So that gives us 4p equals to -4. Divide. P equals -1. -1. Okay. So with that said, h is what? 3 and 3. Okay. So 3 plus, what's p? -1. So that's, what is the x for the focus? 2. Okay, that is correct. How about down here? 3 minus, what was p? -1. What is negative times a negative? Positive. So for the other one is 4. So let's plot this. 2, -4. 2, -4 for the focus. Vertex, 3, -4, 3, -4. And directrix is at 4, -4. So directrix, there's my line. And then we graph our parabola opening towards the focus. And there you go. Let's go. We got this. Those floaters don't work. No. All right. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this so far? 5 fours, 5 fours. Okay, I'm going to give you one to do by yourself. Ready? Here we go. Example 3 mega q. X squared plus 8x minus 16y minus 48 equals 0. Copy that and go. All right, where were we? Oh, Ivan, tell me what to write. X minus h squared, yes. 4p equals y minus k. Hands if you got that. All right. Pass someone. Okay. Actually, this one we have x on the left side, and we need to move everything to the right. So that means we need to do what? Yeah, add 16y and 48 to each side. We're left with x squared plus 8x, empty space, equals to 16y plus 48. Continue, Alyssa. All right. Yeah. To each side, 8 over 2 squared, which is 16. So we got x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals to 16y plus 48 plus 16. Simplify the right side. 16y plus 64 equals to x squared plus 8x plus 16. Hands, have you got it to right there? Okay. Continue, Joel. Factor, okay. So we're going to factor here and factor here. So what do I end up with the right side? X plus 4 squared. GCF here is, everyone, 16. We're left with y plus 4. All right, that looks pretty good. So let me write the other one underneath. X minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. Okay. So vertex. Tell your neighbor what the vertex is according to that, everyone. Vertex, Anaya. -4, -4. That is correct. So we need a focus. We need a directrix. And we need a distance between the points. So, since the x squared has this, the x has the square, that means that all x values are the same. Is that correct? -4, -4. All right. How do we find p? Pass someone, Anaya. Diego, Romo, what do I do? Let's go from the corner. Divide by 4, and p equals 4. P equals 4. Therefore, k plus p, k minus p. So, what is k over here, everyone? -4, -4. So what is 4 minus 4? 0. What is 4 minus 4? -8. Okay. So, plot those. -4, 0. Yeah, can somebody get that phone? Please. -4, -4. And -4, -8. And my parabola going through there. Hands if you got that by yourself. Yeah, we got this, yes? All right, copy this next one, please. And I'll stop the video right there for those of you joining us online. Enjoy your practice. Bye.